What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pick Six channel. And today we will be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 schedule release. It got released last night, along with the other 31 teams in the NFL. So let's get straight to it. This has been a very frustrating offseason for Steeler Nation. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how good of a prediction this is gonna be. I can't promise that. Okay. The Steelers have almost a completely new offense that we're unsure of. All right. New quarterback, new running back, as far as running back one, I should say. I mean, Jalen Warren was on the roster, but now he's going to be taking the majority of the snaps. At least that's what we think so far. And a new wide receiver one in DK Metcalf without George Pickens. So it's going to be interesting to see what the offense, well, I don't know if it's going to be interesting, but we're going to have to see what the offense brings to the table, man, because we just don't know. We just don't know. And the offense has been a huge problem for the Steelers within the past quite a few seasons. So we'll see if that gets fixed up. I'm not too optimistic about it, but I'm not going to ramble too much about that. Let's get into week one. It's a 10 o'clock game. It's going to be in New Jersey versus the New York, New Jersey Jets. And, of course, the storyline. I'm pretty sure the NFL did this on purpose. You got Justin Fields with his new team in Jersey going up against his old team in the Steelers. Justin Fields started off week one last year for the Steelers. Now he's going to be facing them. Storylines all over the place. And, of course, if the Steelers get Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be even a bigger storyline, which do I think that happens? I don't think so, man. I don't think the Steelers are going to get Aaron Rodgers. It probably would have happened already. That's just my point of view on it, and I could be wrong. Maybe I'm eating my own words here, but I could be wrong. So it looks like it's going to be Mason Rudolph versus Justin Fields in that game, which I don't know how intriguing of a matchup that is, to be real. And we don't even know how good the Jets are going to be. They're kind of in a rebuilding stage. Maybe they could surprise some people, though. We don't know. They're hoping that Justin Fields is their guy, and we'll see. We'll see how he does. That's kind of a coin flip. I do favor the Steelers in that game. So maybe they could go 1-0 there. But most of these games are just a flip of a coin. It's just, I don't really have much confidence going into this season. My expectations are pretty low. So we'll see there. And then week two, they have the Seattle Seahawks, another 10 o'clock game. And yes, I'm saying 10 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time because that's where we're from. I guess the Seahawks against Sammy D with his new team. That should be a pretty good matchup. Not too sure. Steelers just haven't been very good in their home openers. I don't know what it is. They just haven't played good in home openers. It just doesn't make any sense. So I could see the Steelers dropping that game, but another 50-50 right there. Same thing with week three at New England. Now, they haven't won a game in New England since 2008, I believe. That's a long time. And the Steelers have kind of consistently played the Patriots from year to year. Now, I know it's been a while since they played. Well, no. It's only been 1 year since they played the Patriots. Last time they played them was in 2023. They took a break in 24. But they've kind of consistently played each other year after year. So the fact that they haven't beat the Patriots in New England since 08 is pretty crazy. All right, this is a different Patriot team with a different head coach. We'll see. Another 50-50 game. The first 4 weeks, I don't know how it's going to go. I just had to see how the team looks. That's really the only way I can start giving like true predictions here. So, I don't know. They could go 4-0, they could go 0-4, or they could go 2-2 in the span. It could go either way. And that game against Minnesota is in Ireland, which is cool. It's cool. I have zero problem with a game in Ireland across the pond. against the Vikings, that's pretty cool. There were rumors that it was going to be against the Packers, but they chose the Vikings last minute. I know that was just a rumor or a leak, but against the Vikings, yeah. My problem is that it's at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Yes, I'm going to continue to say that. 6:30 our time. I never understood what it was with these international games and it being super early in the morning because wouldn't it be cool for them to get a prime time game? Even if it started at 8:30 or 9:30 or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, I would have been okay with that. 6:30 is pretty early, man. Or just to start when the first slate of games start, to start at that same time, that'd be cool. And that would be prime time their time. So they get Sunday night football for them and for them only. That's pretty cool. But that's just my point of view. NFL doesn't see it that way. So yeah, this year we'll be going live at around 6:20, September 28th. So look forward to that. And shout out to all my Steelers fans in Ireland. They do have a strong fan base out there. Okay, Steeler Nation is global, and they definitely have a strong fan base out there. I've never been to Ireland, but from what I hear and from what I understand, they have a really strong fan base out there. So that should be interesting how Steeler Nation is in Ireland, how they represent out there. After that game, they have a bye week in week 5. A week 5 bye week. Not really feeling that. Not feeling that at all. But that's really all there is to say. Sometimes you get the short end of the stick when it comes to bye weeks. It is what it is. Then after the bye week, you go against the Browns, October 12th. Another early game. Most of these games are early from what I've seen right now. I do favor the Steelers in this. I do believe the Steelers can at least split within their division. I do think they could go 500 in the division, go 3-3, possibly even 4-2. And if there is a team for them to sweep, it would be the Browns. I don't think they're going to sweep Cincinnati, and I don't think they're going to sweep Baltimore. Unless they beat Baltimore down there in week 14 and the Ravens aren't playing for anything come week 18 and they play their bench players. That is the only way I see the Steelers realistically sweeping Baltimore. But if we're going both teams full strength, yeah, man, I'm not too confident in the division, but I still do think they could get at least 3-3. And in this game, I do favor the Steelers. Then after that, they have a short week against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Now, the Steelers, they don't play good on Thursday nights. And I say that, well, I should add a little bit more detail to that. They don't play well on the road for Thursday nights. And they always get scheduled on the road for Thursday nights. The last home game that the Steelers had for Thursday night football was in 2018 when they played the Panthers. And that was the last time they won a Thursday nighter. So it has been years since the Steelers hosted a Thursday nighter and since the Steelers won a Thursday nighter. So this game, I do not favor the Steelers at all. Okay? You could call me a doubter, whatever. I'm just being a realist here. I don't really see anything changing. Week 7, I do favor the Cincinnati Bengals. Am I saying that it's impossible for the Steelers to win? Absolutely not. Last year you had the big old snow game against the Browns on Thursday night. This is week 7. Weather shouldn't be too much of a factor there, so you probably don't have to deal with that. As far as the weather is concerned, Bengals are still a good team. Not sure how the defense is going to look this year, but the offense is still really good. Then after that, you have Sunday Night Football. So you have back-to-back primetime games. Sunday Night Football against the Packers. Packers are a good team, man. They're definitely a good team. Jordan Love, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC. That might be a tough one, man. that might be a tough game. Now, the only thing that the Steelers have is that it's at Heinz Field. If it was in Lambeau, I don't think this. I would have the Packers winning by 2 possessions or so. But since it's in Pittsburgh, prime time, I think they have a shot. Then you go another home game against the Colts. Steelers haven't played good against the Colts the past 2 times. Not really sure where the Colts stand for this year. Maybe they're on the same range as last season. I think the Steelers are going to be able to pull that one off. That's one of the games where I'm more confident in. Then you got another Sunday night football game against the Chargers, and I'm like 99.9% sure I will be at that game. 99.9% sure. November 9th, Sunday night football against the Chargers, SoFi Stadium. Yeah, I'm probably going to be there. So I'm going to be a little bit biased for that game. I got the Steelers all the way. Okay, just because I'm probably going to be there. That's going to be a good game. Herbert, that explosive offense over there, that's going to be a good one. Then after that, home game against the Bengals. That's probably the one I favor the Steelers more in compared to the Thursday nighter. I do think they'll split against the Bengals. Then you go to Soldier Field in Chicago to play the Bears. Not really sure how the Bears are going to look. I don't think they're going to be much better than what they were last season. I think the Steelers could pull that one off. Okay, then this is where this 2-game stretch right here, those might be back-to-back losses, man. Of course, I'm talking about Buffalo and Baltimore. So you host the Bills at a 125 game, a late game. Yeah, again, if it was in Buffalo, I think I favor the Bills by multiple possessions. Since it's in Pittsburgh, I think the Steelers could keep it a bit closer. At the end of the day, man, it's still the Bills. Maybe the Steelers could keep things interesting up until midway fourth quarter. I still favor the Bills by about 10 points in that game. Then you got the Ravens at Baltimore. I don't know. It could go either way. That one's a coin flip. I do not like the way the Steelers looked the last 2 times they played Baltimore. They just weren't there. But before that, they were playing really well against the Ravens. Do the Ravens finally understand why the Steelers are beating them? Have they finally caught on to the Steelers' game plan? That's what it seems like. Because at first, it was more like the Steelers know Baltimore's game. But the last 2 games that they played, it seemed like the Ravens knew everything the Steelers were going to do. So have the Ravens caught up to the Steelers' schemes? Because before it was the other way around. So maybe things flipped. We'll see. That's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Steelers-Ravens is typically a game to watch. And that being the first game for December football for the Steelers, that's going to be an interesting one. Then you got Monday Night Football hosting the Miami Dolphins. That's going to be a good game. I think both teams are kind of even. You know, the Dolphins didn't have the year that they wanted to. I'm not sure if they're going to get any better. There's rumors that Tyreek Hill might get traded. I'm not sure if those things are going to actually happen. We'll see. We'll see. That's going to be a good Monday nighter. Hopefully it's not another – what was the game in 2007 called? The Mud Bowl? Hopefully it's not another Mud Bowl. That's all I got to predict for that one. I think the Steelers should be able to pull that one off. This is going to be a good game, though. Then, my goodness. Week 16 at Detroit. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, guys. That's going to be a very tough one. If I was a betting man, I'm picking the Lions to win by like 3 possessions. And again, I'm not trying to sound so negative here, but there are so many question marks with this Steeler team right now. The only thing that's kind of set in stone is that you know that your defense is probably going to be pretty solid. That's about it. The Lions, we know what they're capable of. Heck, they were able to get the first seed last season with a banged up defense. And yeah, they lost their first playoff game to a Commanders team that came out of nowhere, but they're still healthy. If they're healthy, they're probably the best team in the NFL. You know, we didn't get to see that healthy Eagles versus Lions matchup. We didn't get to see that last season, which we do actually are going to be able to see that this season. So that's going to be an interesting game when it happens. I forgot what week. I think it's in the middle of the year or something, week 7 or something like that. But yeah, that's probably if the Steelers come up and win that game. Wow, that's going to be insane. That'd be a really big upset. Then after that, you go to Cleveland and play the Browns December 28th. I'd favor the Browns more in that game because the Steelers have been struggling against the Browns over there in Cleveland. So, yeah, that I'd favor more the Browns, or I think I'd still favor the Steelers about 51 to 49%. So not too much. And then after that, finish up against Baltimore. Like I said, depending on whether or not Baltimore is going to be playing for anything, is going to tell us who's going to win that game. So that's going to be, we'll see how that game is. Oh, man. So my actual prediction for this season, how do I think it goes? Honestly, man, this might be the first time I predict them to go under 500. And I think it's beneficial for them to go under 500. They have been in the same loop for years. Either 9-8 or 10-7, first round exits, or barely miss the playoffs. They have been consistently mediocre. And you don't want to be consistently mediocre. You want to be either good or bad. You know, if you're bad, you're just trying to rebuild so you could get to being good. The problem with the Steelers is that they've just been in the middle. You can't really go up from there unless you make a big splash trade, unless you make a big free agency signing, which they haven't really done that. I mean, I guess last year they were able to get Patrick Queen. That so far, that pickup hasn't been as good as we were expecting. Then this offseason, they made the blockbuster trade to get DK Metcalf just to get rid of George Pickens. I'm not really sure where this organization's trying to go. If I had to guess with how they were handling the offseason, they might be in tank mode. That'd be my guess. I genuinely have no idea where this team's going. But on paper, the offense is just not looking good at all. They had a chance to bring back Russell Wilson. They didn't. He's now with the Giants. They had a chance to bring back Justin Fields, who, in my opinion, would have been the best option. And if you still wanted to go for a quarterback in the draft, go for a quarterback in the draft. That's the part that I didn't understand. Because if Justin Fields didn't work out, which he would have been cheap, then you could fall on the quarterback that you drafted in the draft. But I don't know. Their two quarterbacks are gone. Their biggest weapon from the past couple seasons, he's gone. Although you could say that they got DK Metcalf now. I mean, they're still in the same position that they were in last season when it comes to offense. So I'm not going to ramble too much. What do you guys think about the Steelers' schedule? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I know nobody's going to like the bye week at week 5. That's definitely the part that I'm not digging at all. But the game I'm looking forward to most this season is probably the game against the Chargers, selfishly, because I'm probably going to be there. So That's the game I'm looking forward to most this season. And if they don't win a single game, if they go completely winless this season because they're tanking, at least win that game. All right? That's all I ask. That is all I ask. I have low expectations for this season. And I don't want to say that, all right, because I want to believe. I want to. But with the offseason that they had, it's just hard to. All right. And maybe at some point I get some faith. Maybe it happened last season. All right. And that faith, and that was just crushed. Oh, man. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible last season. So we'll see, man. My full prediction, I guess 7-10. 7-10 at maybe not even at the worst, but that's kind of what I'm giving them right now. And if not 7-10, their ceiling is obviously 9-8 or 10-7. That's their ceiling. Their floor 7-10, ceiling 9-8, 10-7. Nothing really different there. And I guess the floor could get lower. Don't get me wrong, it can definitely get lower. I'm just not too sure what the motto is for this season. I don't. Are they rebuilding? Are they trying to tank for next draft? But that's really all I got. I don't want to be too repetitive or go on too much of a rant here. So, what do you guys think? What is your guys' predictions for this season? Let me know down in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys later on. As always, go Steelers.